So I stop here yung part. Okay. So at any time na medyo choppy yung line ko, let me know lang ha. Yung dashboard kasi hindi frequently nag-a-appear. So I'll have to. Okay, anyway. For the examination techniques, for the chest and lungs, we have four, diba? Inspection, palpation, percussion, and auscultation. Okay. So what are the inspection findings? First, we assess the shape of the chest and how the chest moves. Okay, so including looking for any deformities or asymmetry in chest expansion. So actually in 3 minutes, you will be able to examine the chest or inspect the chest of the patient. So hinga pong malalim. So ask your patient to breathe in and out, no? Okay, so dun mo makikita kasi kung may asymmetry. Okay? So identify abnormal retractions of the interspaces during inspiration, as well as impaired movement on one or both sides of the chest. So by inspection, you also look if there are skin lesions, kung may the color of the chest, kung may discoloration. So you identify. Okay? So a normal chest is where the thorax is wider than its depth. Okay, and then the lateral diameter, so you can see my arrow, the lateral diameter is larger than the anterior posterior diameter. Okay, what about barrel chest? No? So barrel chest, you can see among aged individual, among elderly, and among COPD patients, yung may chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. In this condition, yung chest nila, increase ang anterior and posterior diameter. Okay, because of chronic hyperinflation or hyperinflated lung. Okay, so among infants, it's normal pa, no? So what happens when a patient has traumatic flail chest? So nagkaroon ng trauma, nagkaroon ng vehicular accident, tumama ang chest. No? So nagkakaroon ng, okay, in cases of multiple rib fractures, it may result in paradoxical movements of the thorax. Okay, so right now, try to inhale and exhale, deep breathing, yung malalim. So on inspiration, kapag may traumatic flail chest, the injured area caves inward. So opposite. Because yung normal inspiration, di ba? It caves outward. Okay? And on expiration, it moves outward. So you can visibly see the difference. What is a funnel chest? It is pectus excavatum. So it is a depression in the lower portion of the sternum. So as you can see. So as a consequence, you compress your heart and great vessels. Okay, but as time, no, since this is a chronic condition naman, probably baka inborn na. So nakaka-adjust naman. So chronically, makaka-adjust din or accommodate din ang heart and great vessels. Pigeon chest is pectus carinatum. So where the sternum is displaced anteriorly. So increasing your anterior and posterior diameter. So AP diameter. So here, the costal cartilages adjacent are depressed. So what about thoracic kyphoscoliosis? So there is abnormal spinal curvatures, as you see in this image, as well as vertebral rotation. So how do you interpret lung findings here? Very difficult, no? So pag inauscultate mo yung right side niya, maganda yung expansion, di ba? Yung breath sounds. As you can see here, permanently, no? Dito naman restricted sa left side. So obvious naman na magkaiba ang findings for right and left. Okay. So you know that the normal respiratory rate is about, so it's lower actually 12 to 20 per minute. So breaths per minute in normal adults. And among infants, it's up to 44 per minute. So mabilis ang paghinga. So now we identify, when you inspect your patient, you identify the breathing pattern. Okay? Kasi dun mo rin isususpect if may problems siya, no? Respiratory problems. So what are the different breathing patterns? So rapid, shallow breathing is tachypnea. So this you can see among patients with restrictive lung disease. So yung may mga interstitial lung disease, yung may pleural effusion, yung may pneumothorax, may restriction eh. Okay? Patients with pleuritic chest pain. So if you have pleuritic pain, the tendency of the patient is to guard the breathing. So tendency, hindi siya hihinga ng malalim, very rapid lang and shallow to compensate, no? And an elevate diaphragm. Next is hyperpnea or rapid deep breathing. So it is also called hyperventilation. So physiologically, nag-hyperventilate tayo on exercise, di ba? On strenuous exercise. But pathologically, you can see this among anxious patients and those with metabolic acidosis. Okay. You can also see hyperventilation or hyperpnea in the comatose patient. So whether be it infarction ang cause, hypoxic ang cause, or hypoglycemia. Small breathing is deep breathing that is due to metabolic acidosis. So common to have metabolic acidosis in sepsis or in infection. Bradypnea. Okay? The term brady means slow breathing. So mabagal na paghinga. So you can see this among patients Stokes breathing is described as periods of deep breathing, malalim na paghinga, alternating with periods of apnea or no breathing. So malalim ang paghinga, tapos biglang stop for a while. So after 5 to 10 seconds, doon lang magbe-breathe ulit yung patient. So that's Stokes breathing. So children and aging people normally may show this pattern in sleep, but pathologically you see this among these cases. So heart failure, uremia, so patients on chronic kidney disease, matataas ang creatinine, they are uremic, no? Again, drug-induced rescue depression and those with brain damage. Ataxic breathing, so other name is bias breathing. So it is characterized by unpredictable irregularity. So walang pattern. All right. So you can see this kapag ang affected area is higher level na for respiration. So it's at the medullary level. Sighing respiration is briefing the physician on the possibility of hyperventilation. Okay. So next breathing is obstructive breathing. So in obstructive lung disease, okay, expiration is prolonged because of the narrowed airways. So remember in asthma, chronic bronchitis, COPD, the common pathologic mechanism is narrowed airways. So thereby increasing the resistance to airflow. So mas maliit ang butas ng airways, mas mahirap makapasok ang hangin or airflow. Okay. So those are the things that you want to observe through inspection, breathing patterns, identify expansion, no? Next technique is palpation. So what are we going to assess sa palpation? We identify tender areas, assess any visible abnormalities. So for example, may nakita kang pasa o kaya any mass, no? On inspection, then you can palpate it. Assess any visible abnormalities, you test expansion. Nakita mo na kanina, di ba, on inspection yung expansion niya. Then you test using palpation and feel for tactile fremitus. So this is how you test for the chest expansion. So you put your hands, no, so posteriorly and anteriorly, put your both hands. Instruct the patient to inhale and exhale deeply. So hingang malalim. So paghinga ni patient, so on deep inspiration, your hand should symmetrically move away. And then on expiration, both hands should symmetrically oppose, no? So magdidikit naman. Okay, that's how you test for chest expansion. Why do we need to perform chest expansion to different area, anterior, posterior? Di ba pareho lang yung result nun? So, no, it can be different kasi pwedeng ang pathology nasa area na yon, no? Different locations. All right, so tactile fremitus is we palpate the vibration of sounds. So here you ask your patients to say tres-tres o kaya 99. Okay, so pakisabi po ang tres-tres or 99 kapag mararamdaman niyo po yung kamay ko. So in this image, you're doing it single-handedly. And then you follow the patterns, 1, 1, 2, 2. Okay, so that you can compare yung equivalent side niya agad-agad to identify any abnormality. So again, at the back, you do this. Okay, but the ideal, yung gagawin nyo sa demo, by manual. So double hand. So that you can compare right away yung both sides. Okay, so pakisabi po, 99. So 99, 99, 99, 99, 99. And feel for the fremitus, no? So the vibration should be equal. If you feel there's abnormality, magkaiba, then you suspect a pathology on that side. Okay. Next technique is percussion. Okay. So percussion sets the wall, the chest wall, and underlying tissues in motion, producing audible sound and palpable vibration. So this helps to establish underlying tissues, right? Okay, so you know that already. So you know that in a healthy lungs, no, the percussion note is resonance. Okay, so pag healthy yung lung, usually wala kang ma-appreciate na hyperresonance. So this image shows you the different percussion findings. So here, above the clavicle, you can still appreciate resonance on percussion. Why? Since you still have the apex here, apex of the lungs. Then you have flat over muscle and bones, cardiac and liver dullness, and stomach tympany. Posteriorly, you have this following findings. So resonance ka pa rin above the scapula. Last is auscultation. So what are the findings on auscultation? So this is used for assessing airflow through the tracheobronchial tree. So it involves listening to the sounds generated by breathing, listening for any adventitious sounds, and if abnormalities are suspected, you listen to the spoken words or whispered voice. So here is an ideal, no, pattern of auscultation. So why? You can compare easily yung other side niya, yung mirror image. Kasi ideally, dapat pareho sila, no? Okay, so 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And also at the back. Okay, so here are the different breath sounds. So normal, so here over most of both lungs. So that's the normal breath sounds on auscultation. And during the transition, you can hear bronchovesicular sounds. Okay, over the manubrium, it's bronchial, and over the trachea, it's tracheal. So a good image representation is this one. Vesicular, all over lung fields. Okay. It's bronchial, and the transition is bronchovesicular. Posteriorly, you have these findings. So sa scapula, medyo makapal yung scapula, so wala kang auscultate doon. So miss out on that. All right. Now, the pathologic breath sounds, the adventitious breath sounds, you also have to know. So there are two types, discontinuous and continuous breath sounds. Okay. So for discontinuous, you have crackles. So discontinuous are intermittent, non-musical, and brief. Okay, like dots in time. So it can be a fine crackle, okay, which is soft, high pitch, and very brief. So around 5 to 10 milliseconds. So sobrang bilis lang. Or it can be coarse. So somewhat louder and lower in pitch, but longer than a fine crackle. For continuous adventitious sounds, usually it's musical, prolonged, like dashes in time. Okay, and it can be wheezes, so relatively high pitch with hissing or shrill quality, and ronchi. So pag low pitch naman with snoring quality. So at your level, you have to identify if it's crackles, wheezes, and ronchi. Now, what are the different diseases where you can find these adventitious breath sounds? Okay. So for late inspiratory crackles, you can find this in interstitial lung disease and congestive heart failure. So this is a result from a series of tiny explosions of fluid, no? When small airways are deflated during expiration. So they pop open during inspiration. So yun yung crackles na naririnig. Whereas coarse crackles result from air bubbles flowing through secretions or lightly closed airways during respiration. So, and so here's an image. Here's a diagram on the different adventitious lung sounds. So for late inspiratory, as you can see, no, sa late half ng inspiration. Pag early inspiratory sa first half. Okay. Pag mid-inspiratory and expiratory, almost the entire duration. Okay. And then wheezes and ronchi, okay, it's a continuous sound, right? Okay. Now, there are other adventitious lung sounds which less commonly heard, no, on auscultation. Okay, so for the plural rub, you would notice that it's entirely the whole phase of respiration during inspiration and expiration. So we will discuss this later on. Okay, so late inspiratory crackles may begin in the first half of inspiration, but must continue into late inspiration. So you would see this again in ILD and early congestive heart failure. Okay. What about early bronchitis and asthma? So soon after the start of inspiration and do not continue into late inspiration. And mid-inspiratory and expiratory crackles can be heard in bronchiectasis. Okay, so usually in bronchiectasis, the pathology is fibrosis, no? So widespread fibrosis. So bronchiectatic lung. That's why you appreciate crackles almost during the entire inspiratory and expiratory phase. Okay, so this one we've discussed this discontinuous. So like dots in time for crackles and more brief naman ang fine crackles pero dots in time pa rin. And then you have the continuous sounds. So for the continuous sounds, you have wheezes and ronchi. So wheezes, you can predominantly appreciate this among cases of asthma, di ba? May wheezing sa asthma, chronic bronchitis, COPD, and congestive heart failure. So CHF is considered as a cardiac asthma, no? So you can appreciate wheeze. So in asthma, wheezes may be heard only in expiration or in both phases of respiratory cycle. Ronchi. So ronchi suggests secretions in the larger airways. So in chronic bronchitis, usually you appreciate both of these adventitious breath sounds. Okay. A persistent localized wheeze suggests a partial obstruction of a bronchus. So usually, kapag matanda, no, o kaya adult, common ang tumor. But usually pag bata, frequently nag-i-ingest sila ng accidentally, may nag-i-ingest sila ng foreign body. So pwedeng mag-obstruct yan. So it may be inspiratory or expiratory or both. Now, there are cases of severe obstructive pulmonary disease where on auscultation, wala kang marinig. So this is called a silent chest. Pero hingal na hingal yung patient. So in this case, sobra sigurong obstructed na yung airways, no? That there is no air coming in and out. So this one, you don't mistake it for improvement since this is an emergency condition. Okay? So stridor is a wheeze that is entirely or predominantly inspiratory. So the one I showed you earlier. And it is often heard louder in the neck. Why? Why in the neck? Kasi sa larynx and the trachea, yung obstruction, yung cause of obstruction. And the most common is a tumor or a mass obstructing the larynx or trachea. And this one demands immediate attention kasi pwedeng mag-upper airway obstruction. Pleural rub is inflamed. When inflamed and roughened pleural surfaces grate against each other. So nag-friction, right? Okay. So you can appreciate this as pleural rub or pleural friction rub. So they resemble crackles acoustically, and it is usually confined to a relatively small area of the chest wall. And it is heard in both phases of respiration. So anything na may pleuritis, whether usually in pleural effusion. Next is mediastinal crunch. So a mediastinal crunch is a series of precordial crackles that is synchronous with the heartbeat and not with respiration. It is best heard in the left lateral position and it is due to mediastinal emphysema. So imagine, di ba, air normally should be in the lungs, di ba? Sa lung parenchyma. But here, there is air in the mediastinum. So, pneumomediastinum. So, pathologic, no? Okay, so you would appreciate a mediastinal crunch. So, para siyang crackles sa mediastinal area. Now, we take a look at the findings of a normally air-filled lung. So pag normal, just like us, so what are the findings? So on auscultation, it's vesicular. On spoken words, it should be muffled and indistinct, right? Okay, so E is heard as E. And whispered words, faint and indistinct if heard at all. So normal yan. So what is the interpretation naman if a patient has consolidation pneumonia or lobar pneumonia? So whether be it fluid ba yan or buccal, basta consolidated yung area na yon. Okay. So it's different na. Your auscultation would be bronchial or bronchovesicular. And then on spoken words, it should be louder and clearer. So yung 99 na. Okay. Tres, 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 tres. And spoken E is heard as A. Also, whispered words are louder and clearer. So tres, 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 tres. And on the tactile fremitus is increased. Okay, kasi solidified eh. So mas mag-conduct ng vibration compared with air. So nakuha, nag-gets naman. Okay. So, in summary, normal voice transmission is soft, muffled, and indistinct, no? But when there is pathology such as an increase in lung density, so whether be it phlegm or solid mass, it makes the words clear. It makes the words clearer. Okay, so such as these findings. So now we go to the different diseases and the specific abnormalities. So for the normal chest, okay, you know the following, diba? So definitely walang adventitious sounds. in chronic bronchitis. Ang clue ko dito, you have to know the pathology of that disease. Okay? Hindi mo naman kailangang i-memorize yung mga findings. Once you know the pathology, you can reason out kung ano yung possible findings mo, diba? Nagiging obvious na. So the bronchi in bronchitis are chronically inflamed and a productive cough is present. So when you have a productive cough, normally you can appreciate crackles, diba? Or wheezes or bronchi in the airway. So airway yan. So your lungs are normal. Hence the following result. So normal tactile, vesicular breath sounds, trachea, the midline, and resonant percussion. For left-sided heart failure, okay, you can appreciate also wheezes and crackles in the dependent portion of the lungs, especially pag nakahiga yung patient. Okay, and the rest are normal na. So consolidation, we've discussed this earlier, such as in cases of pneumonia, pulmonary edema, or pulmonary hemorrhage. Okay, so on percussion, it's dull, midline, ang trachea. Breath sounds is bronchial over the involved area. Okay, you can appreciate crackles as well in your findings of increased tactile premitus and positive with voice transmission. Okay. Next is atelectasis. So the term atelectasis is collapse of the lungs, right? So when a plug in a mainstem bronchus obstructs airflow, the affected lung tissue collapses into an airless state. So walang hangin yung area na yun. So what now will be your percussion note? So it's dull over the airless area. So also remember that when there's atelectasis, the trachea may be shifted toward the involved side. Okay, so affected side pag atelectasis, no? Okay, so if you have a collapsed lung sa right side, the trachea will deviate to the right side. Okay, so breath sounds usually, excuse me. Tapusin. Napakaingay na ito. Okay, so in atelectasis, the breath sound is usually absent. Okay? Why? Kasi walang area of air doon. Nag-collapse yung area or nag-collapse yung lungs, no? Also, there's no or absent ang tactile fremitus. Okay, so hindi makatravel yung vibration. Same also, wala namang ma-appreciate na adventitious sounds. Okay, so that's atelectasis. What about in pleural effusion? So there is fluid accumulation in the pleural space, separating air-filled lung from the chest wall. So now it's the air, it's the fluid blocking the air, no? So what happens now? So ano yung mga findings natin when there is fluid over the air, diba? So again, percussion is dull to flat. Among patients with large effusion, the trachea may be shifted towards the opposite. Okay? Since fluid is very parang mass-like, diba? Mabigat. So it can push the trachea towards the opposite side. And you can appreciate decrease to absent breath sounds as well as tactile fremitus. Okay? Kasi walang nabablock ng fluid ang air. Okay? So it's the fluid na nai-interpret natin. Okay? That's in pleural effusion. What about in pneumothorax? So when air leaks into the pleural space, usually unilaterally, the lung recoils from the chest wall and pleural air blocks the transmission of sound. So it's now pleural air over the air. Okay, so you can appreciate hyperresonant or tympanitic over the pleural air. And if there is a big pneumothorax, it may be shifted toward the opposite side. So opposite. Pag pleural effusion and pneumothorax. And you may appreciate a decrease to absent tactile fremitus and breath sounds. Okay. COPD. So, kanina pa natin dinidiscuss ang COPD, no? So, the pathology is chronic hyperinflation of the lungs kasi may airway obstruction. So, when there's too much air trapped inside the lungs, okay, you can appreciate now hyperresonance. So, diffusely hyperresonance. But breath sounds and tactile fremitus are decreased kasi mahirap nang pumasok yung enough air, no? Because maraming na-trap inside. Okay, that's why this kind of patient, we teach how to expire na prolong para ma-exhale nila yung trapped air. Same with asthma, no? But with asthma, there is narrowing of the tracheobronchial tree, no? Nagkakaroon ng bronchospasm. So this one is reversible naman. So during attacks, airflow decreases further and lungs hyperinflate. So mayroon ding natatrap na air inside na hindi makalabas. Okay? So usually you appreciate a diffuse hyperresonant on percussion. And of course, the classic sound, no? Wheezes among asthmatic patients. So that's it for the part 2. Any question? Okay, so now we go to the physical examination of the neck. So very short lang to, hindi ko na i-record, live lang. So the neck, so we review the anatomy, no? So you are familiar with the anterior triangle and the posterior triangle. The muscles of the neck. So yan yung mga important structures. The clavicle, so which is usually the boundary, di ba? Okay. So what are the muscles? Sternocleidomastoid, trapezius, omohyoid. So alam nyo na yan. More than me, no? 10 years ago ko na yung inaharap. So what now are the symptoms pertaining to the neck? So most of the patients who will come to your clinic, doc, parang may nakakapa akong masakit, parang bukol dito sa neck ko. So those are complaints, common complaints, no, pertaining to the neck. So mostly, pag may nakakapa, it may be a swollen gland or lumps, no? Commonly, lymph nodes or lymphadenitis. And then, the location, kung ano yung affected na lymph node, usually, it's the structure that it drains, yun yung may infection. So, take a look at this map, our map of lymph nodes. So, you have pre-auricular, posterior auricular, occipital, you have tonsillar, superficial cervical, submandibular, submental. So usually ang ginagawa natin sa demo is may sistema tayo ng pag-palpate para wala tayong mamimiss. So that will be taught to you during your demo class. Okay. I'd like to show lang yung map ng lymph nodes natin. So for example, you have tonsillitis. Then pwedeng mag-inflame or mamaga yung tonsillar node. You have infection sa skull. Okay. Then your occipital may enlarge, okay, or maging inflamed. As well as sa ears, no? Pwedeng yung posterior auricular. Take a look at the supraclavicular, which you can palpate immediately above the clavicle. Okay, so usually ito yung node of metastasis na tinatawag. So kapag may nakapakang hard dyan, fixed node, it can be a metastatic lymph node. Okay, so it may suggest a malignancy elsewhere, no? Okay, so enlargement of the supraclavicular node. is or suggest metastasis from the thoracic or abdominal malignancy. And usually, if you palpate tender nodes, it may suggest an inflammation. So, ano yon? Inflammation or infection, no? Kung may tonsillitis, pharyngitis, sinusitis, pa. Or the most common din, yung TB adenitis, no? Or tuberculous adenitis. If you were able to appreciate hard naman or fixed nodes, so not movable, it can be a malignancy, no? And for generalized adenopathy where you can see matted lymph nodes, malalaki, buo-buo, dikit-dikit, all right? You can suspect for systemic diseases such as HIV or AIDS, infectious mononucleosis, lymphoma, leukemia, and sarcoidosis. So yung medyo systemic ang presentation. The next structure in the neck that is very important is the trachea. So, di ba kanina nasa table yung trachea, midline, trachea deviated. Okay. So, what are the conditions that displaces your trachea? Kung saan sa left man or sa right. So, here are the following. If you have neck masses, so kung may large goiter, di ba? Mediastinal mass. So if you have a big mass that can pull the trachea sa mediastinum. If you have atelectasis, di ba? You can pull your trachea sa affected site, sa area na involved. And for large pneumothorax, which side nagpupull ang trachea? Sa opposite side. Okay, so remember that. Okay. So next structure sa neck, very important is the thyroid. Okay. So sa return demo, you will be instructed on how to examine the thyroid. Okay, but here are the findings na. So parameters that you should evaluate. So size, shape, so if it's soft and firm, this may suggest the following disease. You also identify kung may systolic or continuous brewing and tenderness as well. So kung tender yung thyroid niya, masakit talaga, baka may inflammation called thyroiditis. And if you see a visible and large thyroid gland, so that's goiter, no? So goiter, you have diffusely enlarged. So malaki lang siya, nag-iisa, walang palpable juice, or there can be multinodular. So pag diffusely enlarged ang goiter, you can see this in the following diseases: Graves, Hashimoto's, endemic goiter. Pag multinodular, may nakapakang maliliit, 2 or more nodules, it is usually probably hindi siya, less likely na cancer, no? Usually, in my family history, nanay, ate, lola, no? Ganon. What about, okay, if you palpate a single nodule, malignant ba agad yun? Okay, malignant in nature. So, no naman. It can be a cyst, it can be a benign tumor, or a malignant tumor. Okay, what are the risk factors that you will look into your patient? O ito yung mga itatanong mo, o kaya if physical exam mo. So if the patient has prior irradiation, if the nodule is hard, matigas, if there is rapid growth over time, in the span of 3 months, biglang lumaki. If there is fixation to surrounding tissues, or if with enlarged cervical nodes, and usually malignant, highly malignant with predilection to men over women. Okay, so these are the risk factors. Okay, so last few slides na to. So symptoms naman tayo o hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism. So when you say symptoms, these are subjective, diba? Subjective complaints ng patient. So for a hyperthyroid patient, ito yung mga possible na i-complain niya sa'yo. So heat intolerance, mabilis po akong magpawis, lagi akong kinakabahan, okay, may palpitations po kung malakas yung kabog ng dibdib ko. So yun yung common yung ano. Also, may tremors ako, nanginginig parate, and mahina ang muscles. Okay, so these are the parameters that you will evaluate. Signs, okay, of hypothyroidism hyperthyroidism are the following. So this one, pag signs, these are objective, di ba? So as the doctor, you can confirm this. So warm, smooth, moist skin, increase ang blood pressure, hyperdynamic cardiac pulsation, that's equivalent to the palpitation. Okay? And you will see patients na may exophthalmos, no? Pag hyperthyroid. Pag hypo naman symptoms, you can patients will complain the following. Wait lang ha, medyo Okay, sige. Resume na tayo. Okay, so for hypothyroidism, so resume na natin mga last 3 slides lang naman to. So for hypothyroidism, what are the symptoms? So subjective complaints by the patient, right? So fatigue, weight gain, they may complain of constipation, arthralgias, paresthesia. So usually yung may tingling sensation sa feet, no? Or numbness. And they have impaired memory and hearing. So as well as cold intolerance. So lamigin po ako, Doc, no? Despite na may weight gain sila. Okay, so what are the signs? So as the physician, what are the signs that you would look into? So of course, you can confirm, diba? You can inspect yung skin. So dry, coarse, full skin. There may be loss of hair, periorbital puffiness. Okay? So vital signs, decrease ang blood pressure, bradycardic, so mababa ang cardiac rate. Hypothermia, since they reported nga na may cold intolerance. Okay? And patients demonstrate na may impaired memory, no? So, as well as the following. So, yung kanina na may peripheral neuropathy, di ba? So, they complained of what? Paresthesia. Okay. So, that's for hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. So, what about other conditions, no? You also have the retrosternal goiter. So kanina kasi we've mentioned enlarged yung goiter, pero visibly enlarged, nakikita dito pag inspect mo, no? But in retrosternal goiter, the enlargement of this is inward, so sa loob. So as a consequence, it obstructs the structures. So predominantly your trachea and your esophagus. So pag trachea, it can cause hoarseness, right? Especially pag affected yung larynx, shortness of breath for trachea and as well as stridor. Okay? And if the compression is big enough, patients will complain of dysphagia. So what are the procedure or signs that you can perform to your patient to confirm this one? So you can do Pemberton sign. So in Pemberton sign, the positive sign is flushing. When you instruct your patient to elevate the arm and hyperextend the neck. So this is due to the external jugular vein dilation and obstruction of the thoracic outlet. Okay. So for the neck, you have actually 4 structures na important. Lymph nodes, trachea, thyroid, ano pa? Actually, yun lang pala. Trachea, lymph node, and the muscles, di ba? Muscles of the neck. Pero usually sa muscles naman, strain lang. Okay. So far, do you have any question? Okay, so at this point, we're finished now with our topics for respiratory and the neck. So next meeting, we still have 1 hour, diba? So for self-study nyo na lang. But on the second hour, there will be, I think, patho department na. Kung may question kayo, paki-type naman sa chat box. We are only allowed to log out at 4:30 pa.